Saray Cochran Norfolk here. I am a substance abuse counselor. I am also an anger management counselor, and I do family violence, life skills, and parenting. Today we're going to be talking about social support, so I would like for you to go ahead and journal the answers to these questions. What do I need to feel loved? Am I receiving sufficient support for myself? Which of my needs require support from others? Who can I call for support when I feel sad or apathetic? Which people in my network are able to support specific goals? How can I reach out to my support system? Am I going to call them, text them, email them, visit them in person, sending a homing pigeon, send a smoke signal? How are you going to contact them? How much alone time do you need and how much socializing do you need? You can do that in percentages if you need to, like 60% alone, 40% socializing. Which self-care tools do you enjoy the most? And that's up to you, but some people have difficulty answering this question. Self-care is things that you do to take care of yourself, to uplift yourself, to learn something, to relax yourself. Maybe watch TV, take a nap, go for a walk, take a bubble bath, color, play music, play video games. What is it that you're maybe taking a course or going on vacation? What self-care tools do you enjoy the most? And do you need to set stronger boundaries? And if you do, where do you need to set those stronger boundaries? Feel free to pause the video here to answer these questions in your journal, and don't forget that you can always share them in the comment sections below. And don't forget to like and subscribe this video. So today we're going to talk about our social support, and the research has shown that healthy supportive relationships are important in helping a person succeed in their behavior change. Some people may feel alone and not realize that they actually do have the potential to have helping relationships. So we're going to complete an exercise today that's designed to identify those potential and current support networks that you have in your life already. We're not out here alone. Other people are here to help us, and it may feel like we're alone sometimes, but we're really not. If you think about it, you didn't go outside and pick all of your groceries. You went to the grocery store, and somebody had to go out there and get the cow and slaughter it and prepare it and package it and send it. And we have people that are shipping and people that are stocking it on the shelves and people that are checking you out at the grocery store. Lots and lots and lots of people helped you to get that meal together that you have on your table today. And lots of other people, think about it, we haven't learned anything by ourselves. Even in this video, you're learning something from someone else. We have all been in YouTube University and graduates of YouTube University learning how to do something or reading a book someone else wrote. We learn from other people. We need other people to survive. We're not alone. And you're going to start to understand that support is not a one-way street. And if you are genuinely available to other people, the support that you receive is going to increase. The more you're there for someone, the more they're going to be there for you. And we're going to talk about some ways that you can support and help other people. Also, we're going to review assertiveness and asking for assistance. And a lot of people have grown up with this idea that asking for and accepting help is a sign of weakness. But in order for this session to be successful, it's going to be important to address that issue. We have to remember that relationships are a fundamental part of being human. We need other people to survive. Think about babies. They need their parents or their caregivers to help them, to feed them, to burp them, to change them, to bathe them, to love them and carry them and protect them. We need other people. And even as adults, we need mentors. We need people to guide us. We have to ask questions. We don't know everything, so of course we're going to have to ask other people who have experience. We have to have relationships with other people. It's a fundamental part of being a human. And it is okay to ask for help. It is not a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of strength to know that I don't know everything and I have to ask someone else. I can't do this all on my own. I have to ask for help. It takes a village to raise children, and it also takes a village to survive these days. And a lot of strength can be obtained through the healthy and positive aspects of relationships with other people. And this is especially valuable in trying to change our substance use. So, in your journal, maybe answer this question: how could identifying and strengthening your support system be valuable to you in trying to change your substance use? Just identifying them. How is that valuable to you when you're trying to change your substance use? Well, I can tell you one reason, and that's because a lot of people feel like they're on their own. They feel like nobody else is going through this and I have to do this by myself. And you don't. So, by identifying who is around me that can support me in this behavior change, and then strengthening those relationships so that they are supportive of you, it's going to help you on that road to recovery. And for a lot of you, you might think that your social support resources are lacking. And it's likely that maybe you've alienated friends or family members through your years of substance abuse, or maybe you now only have friends who use and you've had to cut them off. And so now you feel isolated. So maybe think of some options for support and think of others who could be helpful to you outside of just the circle that you have now. Who else could you add to that circle? Or maybe let's think outside of the box, and we'll do that as part of the assignment that we're going to do in just a moment. And this could be like other group members. Maybe you join a group, or you're in treatment. It could be your treatment team, case managers, members of the clergy, things like that. And I'll go through some different categories with you during the assignment that I have for you. And helping relationships are important. And not just regular relationships, but like helping relationships, like doctors and counselors and therapists and psychiatrists and lawyers and all types of other helping relationships. They're important when we're making and maintaining our behavior changes. And so we're talking about the people who can support you. And these relationship networks are frequently in place, but a lot of people have a lot of difficulty identifying this network of people that they have in place. So you're going to do an exercise to help you identify the existing and potential helping relationships that you currently have in place or that you could have in place. And remember, asking for help is not a sign of weakness. A lot of people grow up with that belief that it's shameful or just not okay to ask for help. But a more mature and practical way of looking at it is that it is okay to ask for help. And this belief is going to help you to achieve your goals. Remember, we get further ahead when we have other people helping us along. If I'm trying to save money by myself, I'm not going to get very far. But if my husband and I are trying to save money, we might get further together. So having other people help you along in reaching your goals is going to be extremely helpful. Think about a mentor or somebody who taught you how to do your job. We all go into a new career position. We don't know what we're doing, and we have somebody who kind of helps us and guides us along. So that's going to help you achieve your goals and being successful in that career, asking for help. And while some people feel like they can just go it alone, we do maximize our chance for success when we include other people as resources in our network of support. So the exercise is, where do I get help? You're going to see several circles. Well, they're not circles, but let's just pretend they are on this next slide. And they're going to represent areas that are sometimes part of people's lives. And we're briefly going to review each area and think of some examples of people who can be supportive in each area, like a nurse or a case manager in the healthcare services circle. And I want you to think about the different places that you go and the people that you see every day. And you're going to write the names or the descriptions of people who can help and encourage you in each circle. Not everybody's going to use all the areas, and maybe there's some people out there that may have different categories that aren't included on the slide. So maybe write in the name of that category in one of the blank circles on your own sheet of paper. So here's your exercise. Think about the different places that you go and the people who you see every day. And in each one of these shapes, I want you to describe or write the names of people who help and encourage you in each one of the circles. So under family, this could be your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, your cousin, your aunt, your uncle, your grandparents, anybody, step siblings, step parents, anybody that's in your family. As far as friends go, maybe they're your school friends or your work friends, or maybe you have a certain hobby that you go and participate in and you have friends in that area. Or maybe, you have military friends. You're going to have your different lists of friends here. And then as far as your job, maybe you can go to your boss or another coworker or the owner of the company or the HR department or the employee assistance program. As far as religion goes, maybe you have the members of the clergy, like the pastor or the imam, or maybe it's just members of the congregation, or maybe it's the administrative department at the church. Maybe they have an outreach team. Maybe they have different committees that may help and assist in different areas in your life. As far as recreation activity goes, maybe you play basketball with a group of people. Maybe it's your bowling team members. Maybe it's the people that you play video games with, or that you play some sort of sport with, or maybe it's your crafting circle or book club, or maybe you're part of a knitting circle or a walking group or something. What recreation activities, what people are involved in that with you? And then as far as healthcare services, so this would include your counselor. This would include 211. You can call 211 24/7, 365 days a year, and they have licensed clinicians ready and able to talk to you if you're having a mental health emergency. You could call your doctor. You could put your nurse in here. You could put, and you don't necessarily have to know their names. You could just write doctor. You could write nurse in here if you don't have one already, but you know that if you have a healthcare issue, maybe you can call your nurse line or your insurance company or your psychiatrist, or maybe it's, a nurse practitioner. Who in the healthcare services circle could you list down? Then as far as housing, who are you going to call when there's something going on with housing? Like maybe you can't make your payment this month on your rent or your mortgage. Who do you call? Do you call your mortgage company? Do they have some sort of program? Or do you call the owner of the home or the company that manages the property? Who do you call for that? What about maintenance? Who do you call for maintenance? Is there like maybe an organization in your community that you could call if you're behind on a payment for your housing or the utilities? You can always dial 211 and put 211 in this particular circle because they also have access to resources that are in your local community. So I would put 211 in this particular circle. What about if you have a plumbing issue or an electrical issue, or you need somebody to fix something that's broken? Do you have a handyman? What about cleaning services? Who do you call for these problems when they come up? Or if they come up, who would you call? It's important to already have that information at hand when something does come up. And if you're in school, maybe your professor or your teacher or the school counselor or the counseling team, maybe the administration, maybe it's just friends at school, or any other number of resources that the school has available. And then up at the top, we have 12-step groups. So maybe, AA or NA people, your sponsor would go in that. And then we have legal services. Who are you going to call when you're having legal problems? So we have legal aid offices, your attorney, maybe you know a paralegal. Maybe there's some websites or something that have access to different legal services like LegalZoom, maybe, or who are you going to reach out to? Maybe the clerk of court, maybe the judge, maybe the district attorney's office or the solicitor's office. Who do we reach out to when we have questions and concerns in this particular area? And if you have another area that isn't listed on here, you can put it under other and list all the people that you would reach out to in that category. I want you to answer these questions below your circles. How would you describe the people that you identified as supportive? How are they supportive of you? And what kinds of support do you receive from those people? And what areas of your life do you have the most support? And I want you to also think about and describe your experience trying to think of these people who can be supportive of you. It can be kind of eye-opening to look at this and really see that I really do have a lot of people in my network, in my tribe, my support system. Or maybe I don't have a lot of people in my support system and I need to start reaching out more and being more supportive of others so that I can strengthen those relationships in these categories where I definitely am lacking support. And feel free to share your answers in the comments section below. I also want you to include people on your list who are just outside of these circles, with whom you would like to develop a closer relationship. You do have the personal responsibility to seek support actively when you need it. Now, as far as assertive communication is really just expressing your wants and feelings and needs to the other person in a way that isn't harmful toward them, while also taking into consideration their wants and needs and their opinions and desires. And so we want to make sure that we're using I statements here. An I statement, I have another video in this particular playlist for the substance abuse about I statements, but it's just when you do XYZ behavior, this is how I feel about that behavior, and in the future, this is how I'd like for it to change. You're just focusing on the problem behavior, and then you're telling the other person how you feel about that problem behavior, and then you're asking for a very specific change. You don't want to be very general here, because that person could change what they're doing and you could still not like it. So just ask for the specific change that you would like to see, and letting them know, like, I'm not attacking your personality or your character. I'm not calling you a name or labeling you or, vilifying you here. I'm saying this behavior is what I don't like. So when you leave your clothes on the floor, I feel used or disrespected or overwhelmed. And so going forward, I'd appreciate it if you would put your clothes in the hamper, and I'd be willing to put the hamper in this room as opposed to in the laundry room, so it's easier for you to throw your clothes in the hamper. That would be an I statement. We're taking into consideration the other person. And while it is helpful to have the support of other people, it is equally important to support others. That's only going to strengthen that relationship. Relating to others is not just a one-way street. You don't just expect for them to call you. So I want you to think about and brainstorm some ways that you can be supportive of other people, and maybe share that in the comment section below this video so that other people can maybe get some ideas from you. Think about specific people that you might be able to support or encourage. And I want you to think about whether it's easier to identify the people who support you or the people who you can support. That's going to be important for you to kind of take into consideration. Am I being more supportive of other people and I feel like I'm not receiving support back? Or is it the other way around? And I want you to think about one person for whom you believe you could be a support this week. What's one thing that you might be able to do that's helpful to that person this week? And if you did that thing, how would it affect your relationship with that person? If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to put them in the comments section below this video or send me a direct message. Again, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Again, my name is Desiree Cochran Norfolk. Thank you.